Both have bad feet now. Your arch is going to be ruined either way.
Dog, can you just stop right now?
Yes,
that
was foul.
You're literally burying yourself in a hole.
I don't want to die on that hill, so I'm going to just say I'd rather have Grant Hill Orthopedics. I'll settle for Grant Hill.
Eric Reed signed a 3-year deal with the Carolina Panthers.
Because he's their best defensive back in years.
After essentially getting tested like every single week and pretty much getting put onto the Panthers midway through the season, playing out his 1-year deal. Should have been a Pro Bowler. But yeah.
Had Pro Bowl numbers.
Got a 3-year deal. You got to take her attention on that.
I'm just glad he's not wearing trash-ass 35 anymore. That's the worst number ever. You can't be successful. Name one All-Pro who wore 35. It was 37 or 36, 34,
I honestly
33.
didn't know who he was because he wore number 35. I literally just disregard everyone who wears number 35.
Honestly.
Usually that's like
Unless
the
you're
fifth
a fullback,
corner.
Dan Kreider.
Usually that's the fifth corner. Like the 35 is a solid number if you're a fifth corner.
Chimsy.
And maybe a gunner on special teams.
Yeah, Chimsy Chekwah hit 35 for the Raiders at one point.
Exactly.
And that's when he ceased to matter to me.
Exactly.
Everyone skips 35. That's a fullback number. The fullback gets 35.
All right, Robert Alford was cut by the Falcons, and now he signed with the Cardinals. I think he got like $20 million.
28, something close to it. Something like that.
You got to take your chances on that?
That's actually a really good move for Arizona. They're just going to keep stacking up on. You have Patrick Peterson, so no one's throwing to him, and that's why he's the best corner of this decade. He's Champ Bailey without the interceptions and more athletic. You just have a bunch of other corners on the other side. I don't even know their names. Can you name 3 Arizona Cardinal corners? Outside of Robert Alford and Patrick Peterson?
What? They had Bethel.
Justin Bethel, who's a great special teamer.
They had
the dude out of
Mateo,
Southeastern.
which they just cut.
Southeastern. He went to the same school as Southeastern Louisiana. He went to the same school as Alford did.
Yeah,
you can't name 3 Arizona Cardinals corners. There's Patrick Peterson and everybody else. Alford is a decent corner, and he's best remembered for his pick 6 in the Super Bowl.
Listen, man,
they just need safeties.
What I was gonna say is
linemen.
They don't even need safeties. They have safeties.
Yeah, Budda Baker, and I forget who the other guy is. They just need left tackles, right tackles, guards, another receiver, a tight end. And
they have David Emerson.
So, again, a corner that's going to make
Chris
the team.
Chris Jones and Brandon Williams.
Guys that'll actually make the team.
DJ Swigert.
Swearinger?
Yeah.
Swearinger's a safety.
And Trey Boston.
That's actually a pretty good.
And Budda Baker.
They got damn good safeties, actually.
So, yeah, honestly,
but I said corners.
Like what I was going to say is pretty much like the secondary wasn't the Cardinals' problem. The Cardinals' problem is their offense and their offensive line specifically.
Trash. Outside of Patrick. If they didn't have Patrick Peterson, they have the worst secondary in the league.
Bro, they just had the best secondary like 2 years ago.
3 years ago.
What I'm saying is it doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter.
Their defense is
they need to address the offensive line, which is what we've literally been saying about Arizona for 2 decades.
Just like the team that we mentioned earlier.
Oh, which brings me up to a point that I was going to make earlier, which you could argue the Carolina Panthers, like over their existence, is like low-key the most successful franchise.
Morally?
No, not morally. No one's making that argument. I'm just saying when you take from when they started,
they got really successful early and have 2 Super Bowl losses.
2 Super Bowl losses and like 4-5 NFC Championship games.
So did the Eagles, but they actually have a Super Bowl win.
Finally. True. But the Eagles have existed forever.
But they're 3 NFC title games.
The Panthers have only been around for like 25 years.
Damn, I'm older than the Carolina Panthers.
You are. We both are.
Shit.
And when you really like think about that, like damn.
And the Houston Texans.
Nah, because they were trash for a minute. They were trash for a solid decade.
That's true. They're like in their teenage years now. Right?
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to make that point.
Aaron Foster said that, they were whatever. Anyway. Shout out to Russell Wilson for buying Sierra's Masters and starting her own company with it and them not bragging. Future might kill himself now.
All right, next one. So pretty much there were rumors circulating. There's been rumors circulating, but rumors circulated that, the NFL would consider Adam Silver for Roger Goodell's position once Goodell leaves. And Silver once again kind of deaded it this week, saying that, he hasn't been approached. He's not considering it. He loves his job. He's always loved his job. Do you got to take her attention on that?
Smart money says you stay with the NBA.
On that same note, man, and I made this point off air, but like when you really think about commissioners in the league, like all time, Adam Silver is really going to be at the top of the list. When it's all said and done, when his legacy's done, barring any Me Too scandal or anything stupid that he could do.
Looking like Moby?
Looking like Moby. He's been one of the most significant commissioners ever. When you talk about kind of how he paved way for sports gambling and legal by talking about it about 3 years ago. He paved way for Vegas, which is going to be the next big sports market. It already is.
He made you forget about David Stern.
NBA is going to go there. He made you forget about David Stern. He made you forget about Donald Sterling. Finally dealt with that scenario. He could have handled the Mavs a little bit better. He could have handled the Hawks better. But not everything's perfect. But I think when you think about what he's actually done for sports and sports business as a whole, and not just his own league and not just his own players, but just the overall sports culture, Adam Silver is one of the GOAT commissioners. And then when you talk about how he kind of empowers his players and all that sort of stuff, he's one of the GOATs. But I just want to make that point. All right, man. Last thing before we get to the rants. Antonio Brown, we didn't talk about it, but he still wants to trade. You got anything you want to add?
Publicly announced it, and it should happen.
Yeah, he pretty much put out a video of his time with the Steelers and just said it's time for me to move on.
And honestly, that Ben Roethlisberger isn't accountable for his actions behind the scenes in the film room where it counts in front of the guys, and he fakes it in front of the media, which I could totally believe because he fakes a lot of things and doesn't take accountability for things that he's done outside of the football field or in private. Unlike, everybody else he's ever played with. They're accountable. Mike Vick was accountable for stuff till this day about things he's done. But Roethlisberger just skates by everything. The defense is terrible. Well, maybe Roethlisberger shouldn't be so reckless with the ball.
Speaking of skating accountability, one more thing I will say before we get to the rants. How the fuck is Tom Flores not in the Hall of Fame still?
Again.
Like, seriously, like how
off that list.
How does this keep happening?
Because the NFL hates Raiders.
They really do.
There's a Raider conspiracy, bro. Packers get in every day. Raiders, nope.
But yeah, Champ Bailey's in.
Steelers get in every day.
Pat Bolin's in. Gil Brandt's in.
Kevin Mawai.
Tony Gonzalez is in.
Which, by the way, he's not the greatest tight end of all time.
Ty Law's in. Kevin Mawai's in.
Mawai.
Ed Reed's in.
Everyone's like, Fanica didn't get in.
And Johnny Robinson's in.
I'm all for old-time Hall of
Famers. So why are two
get...
Jets in the Hall of Fame the same year? And a Redskin?
Because didn't the Jets and the Raiders, weren't they AFL rivals?
I'm just saying, like...
Tom Flores won't get in.
No, honestly, though, I'm really happy for Mawai. Like, he deserved it. He should have got it in a minute ago.
NFLPA president, and they blackballed him out the league. That's why I'm going to hear the PA president.
Dog, I totally forgot Ed Reed was on the Houston Texans.
After they won the Super Bowl.
Totally forgot about that. I think I wanted to forget it.
Baltimore annexed him. Yeah, he had like an 87 overall rating in Madden. It was weird. Like, just because he got slow, you didn't want to put him at strong safety because you respected his ball skills too much.
Hey, shout out to Louisiana State for having two Hall of Famers in the same class.
LSU?
Yeah.
I just want to know why Isaac Bruce can't get in the Hall of Fame. He was the second all-time leading receiver in NFL history when he retired. Second behind only Jerry Rice when he retired. but he can't get in the Hall of Fame. Okay. All right,
man.
That's
you go first. You go first on the rant. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, this is something we didn't talk about. It was on the rundown, but I'm going to just run through it real quick. The idea of collusion in the NFL is kind of funny. With the NBA, there's a scarcity of talent at the top. Like, the best players, if you don't have one of them, you're not winning. Like, look at the Clippers. They just had a bunch of guys and traded them all. And now they're going to try to tank for Zion, which is kind of cute. I guess they think he might be the next Elton Brand. But whatever. Shout out to Elton Brand, by the way, for being the GM of the Sixers.
I'm not telling you about talking basketball.
You're just mad because I'm talking about nothing but Clippers. But I just wanted to get through that. With the NFL, there's really no such thing as collusion because there's 11 guys on the field.
This guy's really taking my take from fucking 6 months ago.
No, I'm not taking your takes from 6 months ago, Pete. I hate when people like the narrative, oh, all these cats on Twitter are saying, AB, talk to me. AB, you should come to Arizona. You should come to Denver. You should come this way, that way. He just wants to leave Pittsburgh, and I hope he does. But also, he was a real diva, and he was kind of hating on Juju Smith-Schuster. That kid is a dog. Don't hate on him. He's an alpha, and I'm happy for him. He's in the mold of a Hines Ward, but better. But anyway, it's been a crazy week for me. Pretty much in the process of like having 3 jobs and finishing up school, quitting one of my jobs, but still having to do my last 2 weeks there. And yeah, man, it's weird. Like when you get attached to people and you work hard to see them all the time, it's weird to kind of like let go. And recently, these have been like the best couple jobs I've had because jobs in the past have been kind of on the shitty side. But it's good to have options and better paying options. Because, yeah, one of my financial goals this year is to leave this year with $10,000 in my savings account so I can start buying a property next year and making moves. So, I mean, that's already going to happen. It's a foregone conclusion. And I'm happy with it, and I'm excited about it. But I'm mostly excited because, yeah, I said it earlier in the show, but I'm going to be 27 on Tuesday, February 19th. And for me, it's just kind of crazy because, A, I was born in Black History Month, and B, like the 19th, I don't know why. It's just like it fits as a perfect day. Like, no, I'm not a numerology person, but apparently it's a really good luck. Like the number 19, because it's 1 plus 9, it's 10. It's a really good number. I don't know. Whatever. Some dude broke it down to me when I was at Planet Fitness. But to think about all the stuff I've been through in my life and where I am, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing all right. Shit could be worse. Like way, way, way worse. Like all the things I've had in front of me, and I've just found a way to get through it, get around it, overcome it. And that I'm happy about. That's why I'm actually going to the Kettle for my birthday. And yeah, it's going to be dope because it's going to give me a big ass sundae for breakfast. Yep, I'm doing it. Don't care. What else was I going to say? Also, yeah, got a new barber. Another fresh cut. Right now as we speak, I kind of look like a fat J. Cole. And I'm okay with it. Like, there's a certain little... Oh, yeah, that was what I was going to say. I have like 7 gray hairs, and this shit kind of made me depressed for a little bit. I was talking to my grandma earlier today. I was like, yeah, Grandma, I have like 5 gray hairs in my head and a couple in my beard. And my mom was like, yeah, I can actually see that shit from here. Like, she said it with disgust. Like, she caught me with heroin in my arm. Like, I can see your gray hairs from here. How the fuck do you have gray hair at 27? I was like, because I've been through shit, and I survived. So, yeah, anyone who has gray hairs out there that's under the age of 30, embrace it. Be proud of it, but just know you're either going to become a silver fox or all your hair, you're going to go like, your hair is going to just die out by the time you're 30. So adjust accordingly and use shea butter. So, yeah, there's that. Be safe. And I'm totally rambling. Pete, kind of waiting for you to just cut my mic off.
Wow, KB waiting for me to cut him off. That's the first.